Prologue. Crashing. They were undoubtedly crashing. The doctor was making sure of that. The doctor was a bald man, wiser and older than his skin showed. You need to get to an escape pod, the doctor explained in his deep, authoritative voice. No, not without you, Carla said. Carla was a young Lucian woman. She had always wanted to explore the universe, but not like this. Not with this much crashing and murderous robots. The doctor rolled his eyes at Carla's comment. Always with the talking back, he said to himself as he rushed about the console room, pressing buttons and flicking levers with wild abandon. You've done so much for me, Carla pleaded. Just let me do this for you. Suddenly, a vibration came from within the doctor's blazer pocket. He reached into it and pulled out a mobile phone. He held it up to his ear and spoke. Hello? He looked over to Carla, confused. Hi, the voice on the other end said. We have a toilet overflowing. I'm sorry, you have a what? The doctor asked. He was sure that this was a prank call. You're a plumber, right? The voice asked, sounding rather genuine for a prank. No, of course I'm not. An explosion cut off the doctor, shaking the ship, nearly knocking him and Carla off their feet. What was that? The voice asked, rather worried. Oh, nothing, just a bit of an explosion, that's all. The doctor responded, less worried. You okay? Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to crash a spaceship, the doctor said, pointing his sonic screwdriver at a server board. Doctor? Carla said. The doctor turned around, his face tensing as a Cyberman stomped into the room. Hold on, let me just put you on hold. The Cyberman raised his arm, shooting a laser out of his wrist gun, hitting the doctor in the stomach, causing the phone to fall out of his hands. This ship will not crash, the Cyberman spoke with his robotic voice. The doctor stared the robot into its dark eyes that were more like abysses than eyes. Slowly, he backed up, grabbing onto Carla's hand. They then ran through the spaceship's corridors, looking for the escape pods. The doctor opened one of the escape pods with his screwdriver. All right, get in, he instructed Carla. No, she insisted. Just you. She pushed the doctor into the pod, quickly pressing the buttons to close the door. The doctor rushed up to the door, trying to open it. Carla, he shouted, let me out, come on. He slammed his hands against the pod's door. I'm sorry, Carla said, before the escape pod shot out of the ship, soaring over the skyline of a city that the doctor immediately identified as London. Chapter 1. Liam. On that fateful Tuesday, Liam Baker, a young man with brown messy hair, who was very clearly no older than 23, was sitting on a couch eating a diagonally cut slice of buttered toast. Liam was very particular about the way his toast was cut. Watching some show on the TV that ranted and raved about everything but somehow nothing at the exact same time. I don't get how you believe this stuff, Liam said to someone who had just entered the room. This newly arrived someone was Quinn. Quinn was very almost the exact same age as Liam, give or take a few months, and had more organised hair than Liam, and far darker hair than Liam. Liam and Quinn had met in college and instantly clicked, so much that a short 6 years later they were officially boyfriends, living in a rather small flat in London. Quinn had used the last of his inheritance money to buy it. What do you mean? Quinn asked, sitting down on the sofa next to Liam. The show's claiming that Bubble Shock was alien, Liam answered. Quinn sipped on his coffee before replying, It was alien. No, don't get me started, Liam retorted. It wasn't alien, it was just a crappy drink. An alien crappy drink, Quinn hit back, beginning their verbal tennis game. No, it was just crappy. Okay then, what was Bane? It was like a plant or something? I don't know what to tell you. It was alien. Liam laughed. I don't think the FDA would allow them to put alien in a drink. And yet they did, Quinn said, taking one last sip of his coffee before deciding that it was in fact the worst coffee that anyone had ever made and placing it down on the coffee table. You're insane, Liam teased, smiling ear to ear. Nope, I'm just right, Quinn teased back, smiling equally as wide. Suddenly, as if on perfect cue, Liam's phone began to play a tune. Not a pleasant tune, a tune that signaled it was time for Liam to go to work. I wish they didn't make you work so long, Quinn said. Someone has to work there? Liam shrugged before standing up, grabbing his backpack and heading towards the door. Hurry back, Quinn said, blowing a kiss. I always do, Liam responded, blowing one back. Liam left the flat, leaving Quinn sitting alone deciding whether or not to try and make a better coffee. Mr. D's Burgers and Kebabs wasn't the best place to eat, and it certainly wasn't the best place to work, but it was the only place that accepted Liam's lackluster CV. And this is where barely scraping by in college had gotten him, cleaning up after people too lazy and disgustingly sloppy to clean up after themselves. During his daily thought of quitting, there and then, a customer walked up to Liam. Excuse me. The customer tapped on Liam's shoulder. You work here, right? Liam took a deep breath, trying hard not to roll his eyes at the customer's idiotic question. He was wearing a bright red t-shirt that read Mr. D's on it in massive white letters. Liam turned around, trying his hardest to put on a friendly smile. Hi, how can I help? Liam smiled. In his mind, he was going through all the basic questions like where the straws were or the code to the toilet, and then Liam remembered that one time someone asked him where to order, as if it wasn't signposted with the large letters and an arrow. There's something wrong with the toilet? The customer explained. What? Liam asked, confused. The customer led Liam to the offending toilet and presented it. There was, in fact, something wrong with it. It was overflowing with water that Liam hoped for his sake was clean. Yeah, I walked in and found it like that, the customer said in a way that someone would deny a crime. I'll go ask my boss what to do, Liam sighed. He walked out of the toilet and into the dining area. Where are the straws? The customer asked him. By the ketchup, Liam replied without a moment of hesitation. He continued his journey. I haven't got my burger yet, another customer stated. It'll be out soon, Liam replied once again without a moment of hesitation. Liam entered the kitchen area. There stood the cook. Liam never cared to learn his name. Hey, Liam, the cook waved. Everything all right? Yeah, Liam said. Where's Russell? Out the back, the cook smiled. Thanks, Liam said, quickly leaving the kitchen. As Liam walked out the back, he wondered whether or not he was a bad person for not remembering the cook's name. He would ask the cook's name, but Liam worried that he actually forgot the cook's name instead of never knowing it, which was indescribably worse. Liam stepped out to the back of the shop and was immediately hit with the scent of cigarettes. Russell was there for sure, and there he was, sitting on a plastic chair that had been there since Liam started this job a number of months ago now. Hey, Russell, Liam said, his boss looking up from his burger. What do I do if a toilet is overflowing with water? Call a plumber, Russell said, taking another bite of his burger. Right, Liam nodded, heading back inside and once again into the kitchen. In the corner of the kitchen was a landline phone and a computer. Liam logged into the computer and searched local plumbers cheap. Liam was sure that Russell would thank him for finding the cheapest plumber possible. Scrolling past a surprising amount of adverts that Liam always ignored, he found a result. He dialed the number on the landline, putting the phone up to his ear. No answer. Liam searched for a different result. Once again, he dialed the number on the landline. No answer. Liam sighed and searched for another one, dialing it and... Hello? The deep male voice on the other end asked. Hi, Liam said, holding his head in his hands. We have a toilet overflowing? I'm sorry, you have a what? The voice said. Liam's eyebrows furrowed. Confused, he asked, You're a plumber, right? No, of course I'm not a... The voice was cut off by something that sounded like an explosion. What was that? Liam asked, rather worried. Oh, nothing. Just an explosion, that's all, the voice responded, less worried. You okay? Yes, sorry, I'm just trying to crash a spaceship. Liam was sure that this was a prank number. A very strange prank, as Liam didn't know why someone with such a deep Victorian-esque voice would pull a prank like this. But it was a prank nonetheless. Hang on, let me just put you on hold, the voice said before the call ended. Liam put the landline down and rubbed his eyes. He really, really didn't want to search for yet another plumber. All that searching and calling and searching does something to a man. So, instead of boring himself with boring plumbers and potential pranks, he decided to tell Russell instead. No lock on the plumber, Liam said, walking out to the back where he found Russell. Liam quickly noticed that Russell was staring up into the sky. His eyes were fixed on something. Are you okay? Russell didn't say a word. He just continued to stare up into the sky. Liam turned around, looking up. That's not actually possible, Liam said, his eyes wide. You don't believe your own eyes? Russell finally spoke up. It's just that it's a spaceship. Chapter 2. The Escape Pod. It was crashing, plummeting over London. The great big silver ship, burnt by the explosions and flames that came from inside the spaceship itself. Liam's phone rang in his pocket. Russell quietly noted that Liam had failed to keep his phone in the staff room, which was something Liam had done several times before. Without taking his eye off the crashing ship, Liam picked up the call. Hello? Do you see it? Quinn shouted on the other end. The ship in the sky. Of course I see it. How can I not? It's massive, Liam replied. Are you somewhere safe? Depends on when the spaceship crashes. What do you mean? Are you in the back? What? Before Liam could wrap his mind around Quinn's question, Quinn stepped out of the door to the restaurant. See? Aliens, Quinn said, rather proud of himself. What are you doing here? Liam said before hanging up the call. Quinn's face scrunched. He had literally just explained it on the phone. I came to see if you were safe. Hi, Quinn, Russell said, with just the slightest bit of discontent in his voice. Quinn had done these surprise visits before, always ending up distracting Liam. Hey, Mr. D, Quinn said, with equal discontent in his voice. Quinn had never really liked Russell. He overworked Liam, he underpaid Liam, and he always referred to him and Liam as really good friends. How's the wife? There's a spaceship in the sky and you're making small talk, Liam asked, less as a question, more as a bewildered statement. I'm trying to stay calm and think of the next step, Quinn explained. The next step, Liam said, still quite confused by all the goings on. I don't know, hide? No, we need to call someone, maybe Unit or Torchwood, maybe those people on Bannerman Road, Quinn thought out loud. But his thinking was interrupted by a significantly loud boom. Quinn and Liam quickly turned back to the ship and noticed a small escape pod shoot out from the ship, leaving a smoke trail behind. The two then looked at each other, and Liam noticed a smile on Quinn's face, one that surely meant that Quinn was planning to do something either incredibly stupid, incredibly dangerous, or a mixture of the both. Come on, Quinn said before running back through the restaurant. Liam turned to leave too before looking back at his boss. I'm sorry, I'll be right back, Liam apologized before chasing after his partner. Where are you going? Liam asked while catching up to Quinn. Wherever that pod is going, Quinn said, as if it was supposed to be obvious. Liam grabbed onto Quinn, stopping him. You're going towards the alien. Yeah. Why? Because that's where the alien is, Quinn explained, once again as if it was supposed to be obvious. And that's our problem? Come on, Quinn said, grabbing onto Liam's hand. Be brave. Okay, Quinn nodded. But we leave at the first sign of trouble, okay? Okay, Quinn agreed. Liam and Quinn followed the smoke trail until it led them to a forest. Leaves and sticks crunched beneath their feet as they walked where it seemed no one had ever walked before. Through the trees they could see it, the alien vessel that had crashed down, knocking down several trees in the process. It was small, probably barely enough to fit 4 people, and perfectly round, if not for a couple of bumps and scrapes and dents. Slowly, Liam and Quinn approached the pod. Careful, Liam whispered. I am being careful, Quinn whispered back. Suddenly the pod's doors opened with a hiss, smoke billowing out of the doorway. Out of the smoke, a man stumbled out. A man dressed as if he had just come out of the 1800s. The doctor. Ah, hello, he said as he stepped onto the earth. Liam leaned towards Quinn and whispered, "Is that the alien?" "Doesn't look like one," Liam's boyfriend whispered back. "Sorry," the man apologized. "I was just—" He fell to the ground, hitting into the soil. The pair rushed up to his side. Quinn checked his pulse. "He's all right." "He just stumbled out of a crashed spaceship. He's the furthest thing from all right," Liam protested. "We should get him to a hospital." The doctor shot awake, as if startled by the mention of the word hospital. "No, no, no hospital," he shouted. "How did you get in the spaceship?" Liam asked. "Are you an alien?" "Well," the doctor began to explain, "I'm known as the—" He stopped himself, as if he recognized something. He turned his head to look at Liam and raised an eyebrow. "You," he said. "You needed the plumber." Quinn looked at Liam confused. "You're the man from the phone," Liam said, pointing at the doctor with surprise. "Did you ever get a plumber?" the doctor asked with genuine earnest. Liam shook his head. "Ah, that's quite a—" The doctor jolted forward, screaming in pain. "It started." "Started? What has?" Quinn asked. "Get away," the doctor said, stumbling towards the spaceship, placing his hand against it. Liam and Quinn followed behind, looking with interest and confusion. The doctor looked at his hand. It was producing a strange orange glow like fire. "What's going on?" Liam asked. "Go on, get away," the doctor instructed. "Run!" Quinn grabbed onto Liam's hand. Together they ran away from the pod, away from the strange man. Liam looked back to see a bright light engulf the forest. Chapter 3. Police Box. Liam and Quinn entered the flat, standing in the living room. "Oh my god," Liam explained. "I know," Liam said on the same level of excitement. "But the spaceship and the—" Liam continued, mimicking the opening of the door with a hiss. "I know," Liam repeated. "Was he an alien? Was that a spaceship? I bet it was, and Liam rounded, his words straining the longer he went on without speaking. "Whoa, calm down," Quinn said, placing his hands on Liam's shoulders. "Take a deep breath." Liam breathed in, and then out, calming himself, even if just physically. Aliens are real, Liam thought, his mind still racing about all that he had seen. This is the greatest thing ever. "So," Liam spoke, "what do we do now?" "I don't know," Quinn responded. "Should we tell people, like those unit people you mentioned?" Liam suggested. Quinn's face dropped. He knew about what UNIT had done, well, had been rumoured to have done, and he wanted no part of that. Quinn shook his head. After direct contact with an alien, we'd be lucky to get out of UNIT alive. "You said we should call them. I was thinking out loud." "All right," Liam said, walking over to the sofa and slumping down on it. "Yeah." Liam reached for the TV remote, disappointed that after all the excitement with the spaceship and the escape pod and the strange man, they would have to return to the boring monotony of regular life. Which is when there was a strange noise like a metallic thrumming, or like the wind was trying desperately to crawl its way through a window that was opened by the smallest amount. Liam looked to Quinn. Together they walked through their flat, trying to find the source of the wheezing. Liam silently theorized that it was another alien that had somehow found Liam in his house. Perhaps the alien needed their help. Maybe it was lost, or needed to get back to that man in the forest. Or perhaps it was the man in the forest, and he had come to find them and invite them on a magnificent journey. Quinn noticed a light coming from the spare room that hadn't been set up as a bedroom and was more of a place to store all the boxes of trophies and photos and books and clothes that didn't quite fit anymore, that they had never bothered to unpack. Quinn pointed towards the room. They both creeped towards the door, pushing it open. Inside, they didn't find the lost alien, nor the man from the forest, not even UNIT having to come to find them or shoot them or whatever Quinn believed they would do. Instead, of all those strange and wild things, in the room stood a large blue box. The box stood tall and proud. The wood that made up its frame was a rich dark blue, perhaps the bluest blue you could ever imagine. Above the doors, there was a sign that read, "Police Public Call Box." Liam stepped towards the box. Careful, Quinn said, pulling Liam back. It could be a bomb or something. It says police, Liam reasoned. Liam approached the box, looking up at his wooden frame. It was barely fitting in the flat. Liam looked at the panel that sat proudly on the left door. It read, "Pull to open," among other words. Liam reached for the handle. Quinn stared nervously as Liam's hand touched the golden handle. Liam pulled on the door, but it didn't open. Liam looked back at Quinn. "I think it's locked," Liam said. Suddenly, a large bell tolled from inside the box, echoing inside Liam's head. Liam pulled his hand away from the box. "What was that?" Liam asked, his ears ringing. "Liam," Quinn said. "I mean, that was loud." "Liam, look at your hand," Quinn said. Liam looked down at his hand. It was glowing with a fire-like energy, like the man from the forest. Liam shook his hand, trying to put out the fire-like energy. Quinn grabbed onto Liam, frantically pulling him into the kitchen. He turned on the water and put Liam's hand under it. The flame disappeared. Liam and Quinn both breathed a sigh of relief. "You okay?" Quinn said, as Liam rested his head on Quinn's shoulder. "Yeah. Didn't even hurt, it just..." Liam stared at his hand. There was something different about it. A symbol that looked like the inner workings of a pocket watch, perhaps an alien language, had been scarred into his hand. "That's new," Liam muttered. Before Quinn could ask what was new, there was a screeching of tires outside. Liam and Quinn rushed out of the kitchen, stopping at the front door. They both stepped outside. Entering the concrete corridor, the pair looked around, searching for the source of the screech. They peered over the balcony that stood on the opposite side from the door. Quinn's eyes widened with shock. Several black military-looking vans were parked below, all of them labeled Unit. "We should sneak through the fire escape," Liam suggested. "It's alarmed," Quinn countered. "Well, if I had my sonic," Liam said, as if by a strange instinct that wasn't truly his. "What?" "I don't know," Liam said, shaking his head. Slowly, they snuck towards the block's stairwell. Peering over the banister, Liam saw a group of soldiers marching up towards them. "They're about 3 floors away," Liam said, planning the escape. "Roof's a no-go, right? We'd be trapped." Liam thought about using the lift, but he remembered how unreasonably slow it was. The council promised several times to get it sorted, but they never got round to it, probably out of pure laziness. Now wasn't the time to think about what the council didn't do. Now was the time to escape. "We should go 1 floor down and hide there until they pass," Liam planned. "If we're lucky, they won't check." Liam put his hand out, his partner taking his hand. They went down the set of stairs before exiting the stairwell and hiding behind the door. The soldiers marched past them, up a floor. "See?" Liam winked. They entered the stairwell again and ran down to the ground floor. They peeked out, many guards standing, keeping guard. "Now what?" Quinn asked. Seeing the army of guards, Quinn briefly considered giving up. "We run," Liam said, as if he had a plan. "Somewhere safe, somewhere they'd never expect." "Like? Maybe Mr. D's?" "If we make it there," Quinn said defeatedly. "Hey, positive thoughts," Liam said, reassuring his boyfriend. "Now, deep breath, and allons-y." The two ran out of the building, in the opposite direction of all the soldiers. A woman in a unit-labeled red beret pointed towards them. "After them," the woman ordered. "Do not use lethal force." Liam and Quinn ran through the streets, the soldiers close behind. Liam grabbed onto a large bin and pushed it towards the soldiers before turning back around and continuing to run. "What now?" Quinn said, very nearly out of breath. "We keep running until we're in central London?" "I was hoping there'd be a bus or something." Liam looked to his right to see a taxi. Liam knocked on the window, the driver rolling it down. "Are you available?" Liam asked. "Depends where you're going," the driver said, putting out a cigarette. "Mr. D's Burgers and Kebabs." "I was there earlier. Toilet's broken." Liam and Quinn climbed into the taxi. The soldiers marched towards them. "Can you hurry up?" Quinn said to the driver, the soldiers getting closer and closer with every second. "Got your seatbelts on?" the driver said. "Yes, go!" Quinn shouted. "I can see that you don't," the driver said. Liam and Quinn rolled their eyes. putting their seatbelts on. The soldiers were very close now. "All right, off we go," the driver said, driving away. "We did it," Liam cheered as he watched the soldiers shrink in the distance. "Hell yeah, we did," Quinn cheered, planting a kiss onto Liam's cheek. Chapter 4. The Spaceship. Liam and Quinn rushed into Mr. D's, a bell ringing as they did. The shop was empty, the emptiest Liam had ever seen it at this hour. Russell stood behind the counter, his arms folded, and his expression clearly unimpressed. "Look who's back," Russell said, rather annoyed. "It's been an hour." "Take it out of his paycheck," Quinn joked. "We're going into the back." "You can't keep coming in there. You're not an employee," Russell argued. "If we stay out here, they'll find us," Quinn argued back. "They?" Russell questioned, raising an eyebrow. "Soldiers," Liam answered. "Told you not to go," Russell said, speaking much like a disappointed parent would. "No, you didn't," Liam said. "I thought it," Russell said, trying his best to maintain his false moral high ground. "Not the same thing," Quinn said, taking Liam's hand and leading him into the back kitchen. "So, what are we going to do?" Liam asked. "I don't know," Quinn shrugged. "I know what you're going to do," Russell said, entering the kitchen and pointing at Quinn. "You're going to get out." Quinn stared at Russell, his face scrunching with hate. "And you," Russell said, pointing at Liam, "you're going to get working." "The store's empty," Quinn argued, finally allowing himself to tell Liam's boss what's what. "What work is there to do?" As the two argued, Liam stared. Their words didn't seem to reach him. Liam looked around, hearing voices he didn't recognize, conversations he never heard. People talking about doctors and Daleks and angels taking phone boxes and pantheons and toy makers and Chumbleys and Zargariuses, whatever those were. "Do you guys hear that?" Liam asked, his voice seeming to echo around him. Then Liam heard a robotic voice shout, "Delete!" It sounded as if it was right behind Liam. He turned around to find not the familiar walls of the kitchen, the walls that Liam had stared at multiple times, trying to calm himself down from dealing with idiotic customers. No, there stood metal walls, completely unfamiliar. Liam stood in the metal corridor that seemed to stretch on forever. He looked around and then down at his hand. He was holding something, a strange device, cylindrical in shape. It was made of metal and had several carvings in it, much like the one scarred onto Liam's hand. It had a small bulb at the end of it. Liam looked at it confused, and then walked down the metal hallway. He approached the door, and it slid open. Liam stepped in. The room was some sort of control center, filled with holographic computer screens and control panels filled with buttons and levers. "What is this place?" Liam whispered to himself. Liam pressed a button, and another door opened up. Out of it stomped some sort of robot that was taller than Liam. It had black voids for eyes and a slit for a mouth that seemed lined with LED lights. On the top of its head were two metal rods that seemed like handlebars. "Oh, hello, robot," Liam greeted. "This wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it?" The robot stumped forwards. "Right, alien. Probably doesn't speak English." "You are an intruder," the robot spoke, its voice monotone and electronic. "Oh, you do speak English," Liam said, smiling. "You are a human." "Yes, very sorry. I don't know how I got here," Liam said, finding the words falling out of his mouth. "Where is here?" "This is a cyber fleet." "Cyber fleet?" Liam said, raising his eyebrows. "So, you're a cyberbot?" The robot's arm shot up. "You will be upgraded," the robot said, stomping towards Liam. "Whoa, stay back. I've got a weapon," Liam said, pointing the strange device at the robot. "This device will make you explode." Liam smiled, thinking that there was no way the robot could know that he was lying, that he had absolutely no idea what it did. "You are lying," the robot said. "Do I look like I'm lying?" Liam bluffed. The robot stomped closer. "I'll use it," Liam said. He always believed that the best way to get out of a lie was to double down, triple down if you have to. but never for one moment pretend like you don't believe in your own lie. Unfortunately, the robot didn't believe Liam's lie. It stomped closer. You asked for it, Liam gulped, pressing the button on the device. The edge of it lit up with a purple glow. It let off a buzz sound. The robot stopped and fell backwards and landed with a loud crash. Liam rushed out of the room. The lights turned red. A siren blared. Along the corridor, several other doors slid open, letting more of the robots out. Liam ran down the strange place's corridors, turning left, right, and finally left again, hitting a dead end. Liam turned around, facing the ever-approaching robots. "Stay back! I'm armed!" Liam threatened, holding the device towards the robots. Liam closed his eyes. The wall behind him opened, and someone pulled him through. The wall slid back closed. "So yeah, we are gonna stay here," Quinn argued. "My store, my rules," Quinn argued back. Both of them thought they were right. Of course they did. The other one just distracted Liam from what really mattered. But of course, in their argument, they failed to hear Liam say, "Do you hear that?" Quinn and Russell turned to look at Liam, but he wasn't there. Instead, there was someone else, a man with unkempt, dark brown hair and brown eyes, dressed in a torn Edwardian suit, one that struck Quinn as familiar, but he couldn't place it. "Where am I?" the stranger asked. "Who are you?" Quinn shouted, demanding answers. "Where the hell is Liam?" The man looked at Quinn as if he recognized Quinn from somewhere. "You were in the forest," the man said. "What? Were you spying on us? Did you tell Unit about us?" Quinn accused the man. "Unit," the stranger said, raising one of his rather distinct eyebrows. "Yeah, angry guys with guns," Quinn said in a mocking tone. "So, where is he? Where's Liam?" "Liam?" the awfully dressed man said, rubbing the stubble on his chin. "Yeah, my boyfriend. He was standing right where you were standing. Did you shove him in a cupboard or something?" Quinn said as he began to search for his partner around the kitchen. "Is that the guy that needed the plumber?" the stranger asked. Quinn turned around on his heels. "How do you know about that?" he asked. "Well," the man said. Quinn's eyes lit up with realization. "You're the guy from the escape pod!" Quinn exclaimed. "You've changed." "I know," the stranger said, squashing and stretching his face. "Hadn't had a chance to look at it yet." "Are you a shapeshifter?" Quinn said, trying very hard to hide his excitement. "Kind of." Quinn began examining the stranger. "Did you adapt your form to fit in with humans?" "No, I always look like this. Well, usually." "Strange. Is it? I never thought it was," the stranger rambled. "Wait, hang on. Liam, he disappeared." "Yeah, he was standing right where you are," Quinn explained. "Oh. Oh? Think about it. If I'm standing where he was, then he's somewhere pretty bad right now," the man delineated. "And we've got to get him back." Just then, the bell of the front door rang. Russell exited the kitchen and entered the front of the shop. An army of soldiers stood inside his restaurant, all pointing guns at him. The commander stood in front of them, her arms behind her back. "Are they in here?" she asked, staring daggers into Russell. Russell glanced towards the kitchen of the restaurant. The commander gestured for the others to enter the kitchen. "Run!" Russell shouted into the back. Quinn grabbed onto the man's hand, running out of the kitchen and through a fire escape, into a long concrete hallway. The soldiers followed them into the corridor. Quinn and the man approached another door. The soldiers shot at them. "Go through that door, and we will use lethal force," one of the unit soldiers shouted out. "Wait, I have authority," the stranger shouted. "Code 231163. The soldiers lowered their guns. Quinn looked at the man, confused. The commander pushed through the soldiers, her eyes wide with amazement, as one would look if seeing a celebrity walk down the street. "It's you," she said, starstruck. Quinn whispered to the man, "What's going on?" "Trust me, I'm the doctor." The man winked. Chapter 5. Upgrade. It was dark. All that Liam could see was dark. Hello? Liam called out into the darkness. He expected his voice to echo, but it didn't, so the room he was in was very small. A light lit up, revealing Liam's savior, Carla. She held a knife up to Liam's throat. Who are you? She demanded, pressing the knife closer to Liam's throat. I'm I'm Liam, he said, feeling the uncomfortable metal wall jab into his back. Well, Liam, Carla said sarcastically, mind telling me what you're doing on a Cyberman ship? I don't know, Liam said truthfully. You don't know, she said, not believing him. I just appeared, Liam said, once again telling the complete truth. Appeared, Carla said, once again doubting Liam. Yeah, I think it was something to do with this. Liam held up his hand, presenting the scar on his hand, but Carla didn't look at it, as if she was more concerned with the device in his hand. How did you get that? She said, taking the device from Liam. It was just in my hand when I appeared, he said, never lying. Liar, the dirt-covered woman shouted. That's the doctor's. The doctor? Liam questioned. Yeah, the person you murdered, Carla accused. I didn't murder anyone, Liam said, defending himself. Then how did you get his sonic? It was just in my hand when I appeared here. Stop lying to me. There was a loud bash against the wall, like a strong metal fist hitting the metal wall. They're trying to get in, Carla said, pulling Liam through the cramped space. Carla slides a bit of the wall open, exiting into another room. The room was the usual metal room, with two large cylinder doors and a shuttered window on one side of the room. Carla pointed towards a door. Get in, she instructed. I don't know who you are, or why you're here, or what you did to the doctor, but I'm not going to leave you here. It's what he would do. What is it? Liam said. It's an escape pod, Carla said, as if Liam was an idiot who should know what it was. What? No, the ship crashed. I saw it. You don't know, the woman said, as she looked confused. She thought for a second. The ship was crashing. The doctor made sure of it. He took me here, tried to get me on an escape pod, but I put him on it. I couldn't let him die here, so I saved him. But they got it working again. Stopped it from crashing, Carla explained. The woman walked over to a window. She pressed a button next to it. The shutter slid up. Liam stepped towards it. His eyes widened. Oh my God, he said, not believing what he was seeing. It was Earth. He was seeing Earth. As he stared down at the brilliant blue and green orb, he noticed how alone it was, how small everything was. He could see stars twinkle in the distance, so far away. He stared down at the United Kingdom, which was little more than a smudge on the planet. He thought about 9-to-5s. He thought about taxes. He thought about wars and conflicts and bigotry, and it all seemed so small, so meaningless, so insignificant. And then he thought about Quinn. He thought about how jealous Quinn would be that Liam got to go to space. He thought about how wide Quinn would smile if he was here with Liam. Liam liked Quinn's smile. He couldn't explain it, but it was one of his favourite things. Liam looked back at the Earth, noticing how wonderfully blue it was, just like Quinn's eyes. Somehow, Quinn had eclipsed the beauty of Earth from space. He was greater than all the monotony in Fish and Chips and Love Island contestants. Quinn was the only thing Liam thought about as he stood, staring at the Earth below. The unit's trucks drove into the car park. Once the vans came to a complete stop, Quinn and the man stepped out. So, you work for these people? Quinn asked. Yeah, I work for them. Wow, worked. They more work for me now, the man explained. Quinn nodded, trying to soak up all the information. So, who are you? Quinn said, after a moment of silence. Me? I'm no one. But people call me the Doctor, the stranger smiled. You're a doctor? Quinn asked. No, I'm the doctor. The original, you might say, the self-proclaimed doctor said, beaming with pride. The two stepped into an elevator, the doors slowly closing. Up on the 237th floor, the doors opened, and the two stepped out of the lift. The room was large, filled with screens and computers and desk chairs. A large man in typical unit attire, known to most as General McNamara, approached Quinn and the doctor. Doctor, we have a, the general began. Where's Kate? The doctor interrupted. She's busy, but the general began again. The doctor looked behind McNamara and saw the Vlinks, a white robot with blue accent marks, who sat above the rest of the HQ. The doctor pushed past McNamara. The Vlinks, the doctor said. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? What's the situation? Images of the crashing spaceship appeared on the screens. Spaceship over London, the Vlinks explained in a robotic voice, was crashing. I know, I crashed it, but they got it back in orbit, the doctor retorted. They? McNamara asked. A spaceship that big, you never wondered who was piloting it, the doctor said, as if silently judging the general, wondering how he ever got a job at UNIT while being so stupid. The doctor pointed at the image of the ship. That is a cyber ship, he explained. The Cybermen, McNamara said. Bingo, the doctor said, as if congratulating a child on completing the world's simplest puzzle. Several images of the Cybermen appeared on the screens, some seemingly dating back as far as the 1860s. Those are the robots from the cemeteries and Canary Wharf, and also sometime in the 60s, I think, Quinn exclaimed. The doctor smiled at this, impressed with Quinn's knowledge. How the hell do you know that? McNamara accused Quinn. That's classified information. Some people don't forget easily, Quinn said, recalling what he had witnessed on that cold day, recalling the robots crawling out of the graves marked with his parents' name. More importantly, the doctor interjected, why are they here? To desecrate the dead again? Quinn suggested. No, hopefully not. They probably just want the living, the doctor explained. They want everything to be like them. Human 2.0, they call themselves. Either way, we need to get on that ship. Why? The general asked. My friend, well, his boyfriend, is on that ship. Maybe if we had a teleport or something, we could... The doctor stopped rambling, as if noticing Quinn's shift in mood. What are they going to do to Liam? Quinn said, trying his hardest not to cry. Nothing, the doctor reassured. I promise you. I'm in space, Liam said, still staring out of the window. Yeah, it's all a bit overwhelming at first, Carla nodded. If this is a spaceship, shouldn't I be floating? Liam asked. Unless a spaceship is artificial gravity. Suddenly the doors slid open, allowing the Cybermen to stomp in. Surrender now, one of the Cybermen said. And if we don't, Carla argued, then you are not compatible. The Cybermen stomped, hitting their hands against their chest and extending their arms, reaching for Liam and the woman. And non-compatible units must be deleted. We're compatible, Liam shouted. Liam put his hands up. He looked at the woman, wordlessly urging her to do the same. Following suit, she raised her hands too. You will follow us, a Cyberman ordered. The Cybermen led Liam and the woman through the ship, passing through corridor after corridor, entering into a large room. Lined up on one side of the room were rows and rows of doors, all tinted with white glass. The female will go first, a Cyberman demanded. Carla broke down, crying hysterically. Please, don't do this. The tinted glass door slid open, the inside filled with smoke. Two Cybermen grabbed onto her shoulders, pulling her into the room and slamming the door shut. What is this? Liam asked. Metal scraping and machine whirring began. Carla screamed. She was in pain, unthinkable, unspeakable pain. The lights began to flicker. What are you doing to her? Liam turned to the Cybermen. She is being upgraded, one of them said. As Liam stared at the unmoving metal face, he imagined it smiling slightly, as if it was proud to hear the woman's seemingly unending screams. Which was when they stopped. Silence filled the room. It filled the air. Not a sound was made until the door slid open, smoke billowed out, a metal stomp echoed in the small room, and out from the smoke emerged a Cyberman. "Where is she? What have you done to her?" Liam shouted, demanding to have answers. "I was her," the robot said. "She has become like us," another Cyberman answered. Liam could feel his heart beating faster. He could feel his breath get heavier. And so he ran. He ran out of the room, into the long corridor. The Cybermen pursued him, their stomping echoing throughout the hallway. Quinn was sat in a chair, leaning dangerously far back. The type of leaning back that would prompt your teacher to recite the story of a previous student who did that and fell, causing him to be sent to the hospital or die right there on the spot, depending on how annoyed your teacher was to be telling that story once again. The doctor ran around the HQ, grabbing bits of computers and monitors. General McNamara stood, rather unimpressed. "What are you doing?" the general said, his arm folded across his stomach. "When you're paying attention," the doctor said, less teasingly and more like he was actually concerned that General McNamara wasn't paying attention. "I'm building a teleport." "With unit property," McNamara said, disapprovingly. "You're just going to take it from me afterwards, so I might as well," the doctor reasoned. It was a perfectly solid reason in the doctor's head. "How are you sure it's going to work?" Quinn said, half paying attention. "I'm not," the doctor said, as if it was a perfectly reasonable thing to say. This made Quinn pay attention. "This is the plan to get the love of my life back, and you're not sure it'll work?" "I'm never sure," the doctor said, beginning to take things apart and fix them to other parts until he had a strange sort of device. "But I'm an optimist." The doctor inspected the device and screwed a bolt on just a little bit tighter. "There we go," he said. "This should work." The doctor pressed a button and vanished in a flash of light. Quinn and McNamara looked around. "It works?" Quinn said. "It works!" the general exclaimed. "Absolutely it works!" The doctor's voice echoed. Quinn turned to see the doctor on the other side of the room. Then he ran up to Quinn. "We're going to get him back. Me and you," the doctor said, smiling. "Does it work with two people?" Quinn asked. "Hope so," the doctor said, his words not exactly reassuring the doubts in Quinn's mind. The doctor turned to look at the Vlinks. "How far is this ship from Earth?" he asked. 119,427 miles, the robot responded. The doctor pressed some buttons. "And it's directly above us?" the doctor asked once again. "Off by a couple of miles," the robot once again responded. "Right." The doctor pressed more buttons before turning to Quinn and offering his hand. "Hold on," he said to Quinn. Quinn took the doctor's hand. The doctor pressed a button, and they vanished. Liam ran through the hallway, the Cybermen stomping behind him. Suddenly, the doctor and Quinn appeared. "Quinn?" Liam said, not believing his eyes. "Liam," Quinn said, pulling Liam in for a tight hug. "What are you doing here?" Liam asked. "Saving you," his partner explained. "Lovely moment," the doctor said. "Small problem." The Cybermen stood, towering over the trio. "Right. Hello. Nice to see you all again," the doctor said to the Cybermen, beginning to monologue. "Spare you the trouble of trying to figure out who I am. I'm the doctor. I nearly crashed you guys. That clearly went well, but now I'd like to know... What do the Cybermen want with 21st century Earth?" "To awaken," a Cyberman said. "Awaken?" the doctor said, raising a curious eyebrow. "You're not already awake?" "Not all," the Cyberman said. Meanwhile, somewhere dark, a blue light turned on, and then another, and more until the entire room was lit up with blue lights. The room was filled with Cybermen. They stomped and turned, looking up at a ladder. Unknowingly above the army of steel, people walked through London, clearly having a wonderful time, eating ice cream and taking selfies and taking in the sights. A couple sat on a bench, smiling, when one of them noticed a manhole cover move. They pointed to it, getting the attention of their partner. When the cover moved off completely, a Cyberman exited the sewer. The couple screamed and ran. More and more Cybermen crawled out of the sewers. The Cybermen stomped through the streets of London. The Cybermen's faces remained unreactive as they began to slaughter anyone they could come into contact with.